Alright, good morning guys. I'm feeling really good today, and there's a little biohacking slash focus hack that I think is the reason why, but I'll walk you guys through as I do it and see if it works today. But yeah, that is pretty much all. Today's going to be a no meeting day, and what we're going to be doing is editing. It's going to be super fun, going to be locked in, going to be the forever student, and take you guys along with me. Little side note, that's pretty much a cold plunge, by the way, because we have no heat blanket. Right now, the old one's not working, so I have to buy a new one. But in the meantime, I'm doing a really good job getting woken up by this thing. Alright, so I'm out here, and the thing I spoke about yesterday that I didn't actually think was going to happen is happening. And I'm not that excited about doing it because it means that I'm probably only going to get to my desk to get to work around 12, which isn't ideal. So we'll see how that all pans out. But it's good spending time with my mom, so I'll take the trade-off. Look, it's a turtle.
Yeah, but they snap.
I like it. Yeah, he snaps, but not if I jump past. All right, so I'm back home. It's 11:55. I've not done, as you guys know, a lick of work. I went surfing, which I'm not. Love my mom again. I wish I could have done in the evening, is my point. Anyways, still have to make the best out of today, and stuff like this happens. So I'm gonna have my team meeting, and then after that, I'm going to work from 12 until probably 2, 3 a.m. Get my hours in. Okay, so first team meeting only team meeting of the day is done. All right, I got free reign from 12 to 4. I will be working. That's the perfect schedule. Got focus stack over here, gonna be having that. I just have to text a family member and say happy birthday because I set a reminder for that. Been being a really good family guy recently. I've been earning my stripes, which you couldn't tell I usually don't do. But anyways, I'm going to do that. Get into the camera to switch that for the rest of the video, and I can't really use my computer for the next 30 minutes or so because my editor is. But one thing that I have been doing, what I'm going to show you guys, is I've been doing attention training, which I'll walk you through more in a second. So I'm going to be doing that. And then I have a client video, and then I have to go through and just add B-roll, do some tax stuff, and that will be the day. Super good. Something that I always try and remember, and I need to start repeating to myself more, is that pain is the moat, especially with content. The more videos I put out, the more pain I go through, the more boredom I go through. Every time, I just have to wire my brain to think, this is what other people aren't willing to do. Done. That simple. Great motivation, if you really think about it. Alright, it's my first time stepping outside, and it is kind of golden hour. It's turned dark, and I have all my files on my main video loading as proxies right now. So pretty much what that means is it's a lower resolution version of the file that you can toggle on to edit quicker and not have it destroy your computer, which in hindsight I should have done much sooner, but it's all good because that process is working now. It might honestly take a really long time, but that's why I'm gonna go for a run, and then when I'm back from my run, if it still isn't done loading, then I'm just gonna start doing my tax form for YouTube again, so I can get some monions outside of just onboarding new clients before these videos are done. And then I'll probably start finalizing the uncut-ish version of the rob the bank video for the business channel, and yeah, I can probably actually finish that one today at the kind of rate that I have it at right now, because all I really need to do is add the going up number to the hook, which I don't have it myself, but my editor, he did a great preset that I can go ahead and use to get that plugged in. And then after that, the video's all whiteboard. So I can do that and then flash on B-roll where it says, add a few cuts, make it look schmood, add some music to it, and that video is good to go live. And I'm gonna probably have it go live about 3 days before the main channel video, but getting that out of the way soon will really allow me to focus in on that. And then, yeah, back to working on this main channel video. Learning so much. It is otherworldly. I'm learning literally how to make movies these last 2 months, and it's been so much of a process. I did not know what I was getting into. Like they say, it's always a lot harder than you perceive it to be, but I know even if it's going to be a 15-day delay, technically 2-week delay on the posting, even that is like, it's not comparably worth how much I've learned. What I've learned in these last, well, as of right now, 35 days have been so invaluable to getting better at what I do and making great videos. And I can only imagine by the actual 45 days when this product is finished how good it is going to be. And I know if you guys feel like my videos have been repetitive during this period, imagine what it's like for me to live this and just like every day be like banging your head against the same wall. But I'm starting to see the dent, so I gotta keep banging my head on it. And I know I'll look back and go, all right, this was really worth it. I already am, but I can't wait till I see the final product, which the hook is almost done. And now I'm just gonna encode the media, get all the files organized, because that's actually a very underestimated part, is staying organized. And especially because my editor's remoting in, keeping lag at a minimum. So doing that, and yeah, also just learning the editing workflow myself, which is that's something completely new to me. I'm now a video guy. I've always been a YouTube video guy, but I'm now also like a high production YouTube guy. So very excited to learn that, and gonna go for this run. Then I will probably have some kind of epiphany or thoughts I always do on these runs, and I'm already repeating myself, but what I will show you guys is what it actually looks like. So you see here, this is the media kind of encoding, so all the clips and everything. And then if I were to go here, this is going to be a pain to load, but this isn't even the hook necessarily. It's not pulled up right now. I'll have to walk through after it's done, probably is best, but there's a hook somewhere hidden in the many sequences I have, and that's why I have to organize all of the bins, which you can actually see on the left hand side here are just like quite a mess with not the right things in the right places and a whole bunch of crud. So that's gonna be that, but gonna go for the run now, and yeah. All right, boys, feeling super good, chilling, loving the night runs. It's getting dark earlier, so guess more frequent, but yeah, really enjoying it, reflecting on the day. Even though I'm only halfway through my day, I'm gonna be up later working as per the schedule to edit alongside my editor. I'm up until probably 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to have the stand up. Yeah, that's all. Give me to you. All right, the run is done. Might do a little bit at the end. Feeling real good. Yeah, great run today. Good pace, not tired, but you got to leave some in the tank, of course. So yeah, that's kind of the offer. You gotta love Florida, don't you? yeah, I just love seeing it. You see so many people that are just awesome. But yeah, that is kind of roundup for today. Like I said, I'm only halfway through my day, which something I'm going to be doing to really get my editing flow dialed in is I'm going to be starting an EOD meeting at at 1, 2, or 3 a.m. and have it be a recurring stand-up, because my editor and I have a stand-up at 12 p.m. Eastern. That's the end of his day, and I like it, works really well. The next thing, which is arguably more important, is start of day reporting. And if anybody is wondering why I do it, I come from the background of running agency, and then I had my own info business where I was more of the operator. And in that, a big part about managing a successful sales team, delivery team, whatever, is just running it like a football team. So for me, what that looks like is more bikers, all bikers here. But what that looks like for me is a meeting in the morning and a meeting in the afternoon. So start of the day, get them ready for the day, set goals for the day, and then in the evening, reflect on, did we hit those goals and how did everything go? And that is really the secret sauce, by the way, Sweet Moon, to managing a team, is just running like a sports team. And you almost want to be a hard coach, right? I don't necessarily like to look at company. I don't like the whole like we are a family kind of very endearing management approach style, because I think it oftentimes leads to you treating people worse than you actually would because you just misalign expectations. What I prefer is like sports team. And I also played on a lot of sports teams, so it's kind of natural to me where you are a family, but you're a family forged through performance. And there's no sugarcoating when you don't perform. Now, we'll be there to help you get back on track, and everybody makes mistakes, but you still made a mistake. And I think the kind of family culture makes stuff like that harder to just be really transparent about, versus the sports team, people actually improve, which again, if you look at, anybody who's played sports, there's probably people watching this played sports. The coaches that you appreciate the most are the ones who are the biggest assholes to you, because they held you to a higher standard, and you always look back on them with the fonder memories of, oh, he really made me better. And something that I always take to heart, whether it's with my friends or whether it is with my team members, whatnot, is with friends and family, I ask them, is like, hey, do you want me to give you what I think, like logically, or my emotional support here? But when it comes to how I look at like navigating kind of performance and helping people improve, is just the harder you can be, the better results that somebody's going to end up getting. Again, even if it's at their detriment. Like you can call me an asshole, but you can't say I didn't try to help you. is the mindset that I always try and take. And in the end, that always comes across the most endearing, even if in the short term it might not seem that way. So that is something that I've kind of reintroduced at my company, and the whole like culture is just making sure I poise myself as somebody who's like, hey, I'm working hard, I want you to work hard too, because it's in both of our best interests. And the double meetings is a great way of doing that. Now, when it comes to just overall how I'm feeling, and then progress empire-wise, which is something that I should give you guys the update on. So I've spoken about this many times on this channel, but I've made a very conscious decision over the last year or so really the last 6 months to not really make much money. And for me, what that meant was just making YouTube videos all day. Just like forgot that I had a business. I kept delivering for the existing clients I had, turned off all funnels, removed all public links, declined a whole bunch of revenue, and just said to myself, hey, I'm just gonna sit down and make YouTube videos until I can really blow up my brand. Because at the end of the day, I know that that's the real needle mover. And a short-term revenue, like whatever I would have made in that year, compares nothing to the amount in what I've gained in knowledge. And taking those trades always helped me. It's very funny. This is kind of weird, but I had a dream last night about being mentored by Alex Becker. And it's funny because I have these dreams often where I like speak to people that I look up to and I ask them questions, almost like a mentor-mentee thing. And the really trippy part about it is when they give me good advice, knowing that that was in my own brain, right? Like that's something that I have either heard them say or I already knew in my head, and I just have to have it relayed to me in my dream to like actually have it stick. So it's always funny when that happens. But the reason why I say that is because the big lesson is continuing to pull that slingshot back. And now I'm in kind of a purgatory phase where, maybe not purgatory, but I'm in a phase now where I have to start bridging the gap, because at the level of exposure that I'm getting now on these videos, not to say like I'm famous by any means, I still have a very, very long ways to go, but there is the aspect of like, I don't want to brand myself as somebody that I'm not. And in order to make sure that happens, I have to be very intentional about setting my infrastructure up in a way where views correlate to money at a very high efficiency, right? Because if I'm making videos that get 100K views or more and they're not converting to exponential amounts of revenue, it means that I am not doing a good job on the monetization end. And the longer you spend not doing a good job on the monetization end, the harder it gets to fix it. And while I'm always of the belief that like, hey, you can monetize once you have an audience too. Most people that fail to monetize big audiences don't screw it up because they don't have the ability to. They just literally are not like smart about how they do it. And they're usually working with people that don't care about their reputation or anything. To give you some examples, not that he did a bad job, but like Jason Derulo launched like a community, and a few other guys have like tried to monetize their stuff with these massive audiences, and you see other people like that all the time. And there could have just been so much more potential if they had like an actual MVP, did beta test groups, did the high ticket stuff, like actually properly did the process. But you know, my overall point is just these people had money on the table, and I wouldn't mind being in that situation. However, I know how to monetize my audience, so I'm making an effort to do it now. And for me, that's that business channel video I spoke about, getting my landing page set up. And yeah, even these videos technically contribute to like the nurturing of who I am and what I do. Even though at this point, I don't think I've gained a subscriber this month or in the last 2 weeks, which is kind of ridiculous. I've posted like 14 videos, probably spent like 20 hours. Nah, maybe, I don't know. Spent a lot of hours filming and didn't gain a single subscriber, which is, honestly, I'm not even mad about it. Like, I wish I could sit here and go like, it kind of sucks, I know this is gonna be something big. I just have to keep doing it. And the way that I look at these videos is these videos are a compounding asset that will grow as my brand equity grows. Oh crap, maybe this video gets copyrighted because of what's playing on the speakers. But anyways, that's the plan, and I'm just gonna have to do a better job monetizing on the business channel, CTA's landing page. But yeah, right now, I'm making no money. I'm living off my savings, and I'm happy to say that. I made $1,100 off YouTube, sorry. And it is the happiest I've been, it's the most I've ever learned, it's the most I've ever developed as an entrepreneur. And I went through a phase like this when I first started my first business agency. I went through this when I started my info product. This is what happens. And for me, going through these periods of not earning anything, it's from the book Mastery by Robert Greene. So I'm okay with it, because 5 to 10 years of doing this and you'll be unstoppable, because you just learn so much by not having the immediate need to make money, because you don't have this ego that stops you from necessarily learning some things. So I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my walk back, and then I'll keep you guys updated with the rest of my work day, because I'm probably gonna sit home, fuel up, and get back to it. All right, it is the evening time, and I've also taken a little break, took a nap, but now I'm getting back to work. It is currently 10:30, I've been working until 4 a.m. So I'm gonna do my little focus, lock back in thing, and then I've got a cup of coffee and my goals for this work session. Oh, I figured out what I did wrong on my tax thing. So dumb. It's completely my fault too, so that's funny. But I'm gonna be staying up until my editor wakes up, and my plans are to clean up all of the footage, which will probably take me like 30-ish minutes. And then after that, just get the first chapter kind of all planned out and really just edit. It's all like, I wish I could make it more glamorous. It's a 55-minute long video, and it just needs to be edited. That is all. So I'm gonna be doing that, and I will consider today a success when that is done, and also when I do the handoff for my editor, which is in about 4 or 5 hours from now. So yeah, straight chillin'. Probably put together some big projects, and Premiere's gonna get a kick out of this, laughing. But here's a situation I'm in where I have a whole bunch of sequences, which are pretty much things in my timeline, and I have duplicates for each one because I didn't fully understood how they worked. So now I'm going through and fixing all those, getting all the files organized, and I can say hands down, this will make the editing process so much easier. Staying organized. I hear people talk about it. It is so important. So yeah, just doing that. I was raised in Liverpool slums, lad. So here's a little updated tour once everything's cleaned. So you have A-roll that has the different cameras and sections there. That's super clean. B-roll, same thing. So all the downloads from Rob's YouTube, which are currently being encoded because I'm going to be going through and doing the B-roll. Then I have animations. This is partially me, partially my editor. Then I have assets. So this is just raw stuff if it's not going to be in After Effects. Boom, audio, mic track 1. So this is just my mic that I have layered under onto the timeline on this layer. So that's all good there. Then music, this is just a big dump of music that I have. Some of it being used, some of it not. This one's honestly not too clear. Sequences, this is the big one I'm proud of. So I just talked about it last clip, but you can see each one is good. So now if I want to pull up, for example, chapter 10, I can go boom and know that I'm editing the right one and not creating new sequences every single time. And then if there is another one, I can just go to inactive, and this is like an inactive master sequence. I also have all the other sequences in the trash because this is a, oh crap, this is a very important bin here. I have made the rule, don't delete anything. I actually have never heard anyone say this before, but I think it makes a lot of sense. just to store everything in the trash, because you never know when you're gonna need something, and you don't know if you're deleting something that's being used somewhere for something, and it's a pain to get it back. So just put it in the trash there. You don't need to actually delete it off the file. Then sequences, I just showed you guys, so that is literally the entire thing. Now that I am organized, this media is gonna start encoding. And if you couldn't tell, I was procrastinating a lot on this for the past little while, and that's why you're really only seeing me start to dive in and explain what I'm doing here. Now, the big thing that I'm gonna be trying to figure out is the ideal process for doing this B-roll, because there's a few ways. Going forward, I'm gonna be getting the clips as I do the research, but what I'm gonna be doing now is something called assembly, where I'm trying to decide if I should go through all the B-roll, pick out clips that are gonna be fitting for the story, then drop them in, or whether I should go through the story and find certain B-roll clips. I don't know, I have to figure it out. I'm gonna think about it, but then I'll let you guys know what I end up coming up with, what I'm gonna be doing. However, going forward, as I'm actually doing research for the video, I'm gonna have what's called an assembly timeline. And as I'm actually thinking of what I'm gonna write down for the script, instead of waiting for it to happen in post, I'm literally gonna grab it as I think of it and write it into the script. Then I'm going to actually download the file and drop it into an assembly timeline, so I have no excuses and the B-roll just flies on buttery smooth going forward. Because this process, having to do it backlogged with, even if it is my own words, still a lack of context, is extremely frustrating, annoying, and time consuming. So that's gonna be solved going forward. I'm super happy for that. All right, guys, it's midnight, and I decided that the way I'm gonna be doing it is just by literally watching every single video again, unfortunately, and creating an assembly of just like the best clips, just like I would do if I was literally restarting my research on the video. So kind of sucks, but it will be a lesson learned to make sure I do this the first time, delivered in a very cold, hard, and old-fashioned way. Crap. It's gonna be a fun night. You'll see in the next vlog.